Today I am going to talk about the issues that everybody knows, and maybe after my discussion you will say, okay, what's the big deal? We knew that. Or some of will say, okay, we knew that, but now we have started to looking from different perspective. And some of you will say, okay, we didn't know that. Now I know that and I'll use that. So in all those situations, I am the winner. Because what I'm going to talk about is that food, everybody eats food every day in the morning, evening, lunch, dinner. Not only every day. Imagine we had food before our birth in the mother's womb. We will have food after we'll die. Will be given by our daughters, sons, and that which we do to our ancestors during the morning time or every year, at least in an auspicious day. So food is essence of life, but the problem with us that we have taken it so much for granted that we think, okay, let's talk about food, and that's what I am going to talk. And when I'm talking about food, I remember my grandmother who used to give me food, special food when I was sick. If I had stomach ache, she used to prepare some khichdi with little bit of ghee or butter nowadays, as they say, and then that would really help me. My grandmother was, or my mother was not an educated person. She didn't know anything about science, but she knew that khichdi with little bit of turmeric, little bit of fenugreek, and with ghee, it really helps stomach ache. This whole knowledge that we have gained from thousand years, if we will lose it now, then our new generation will have to learn about our food heritage, maybe from some PhD scholars from France or from America. And then later on we'll say, okay, our grandmothers knew that, we have forgotten. And again then we'll start to revisit. That's why I'm trying to revisit so that before we forget. And why I'm talking about this, because a very sad story I had felt a long time ago when I went in one of the villages in a hospital scenario to work in hospital. Then I saw some women who had very malnourished children. And when I asked them, what do you give to your children? They said, oh, we give very fancy food from outside. And don't you have food in your home? Oh yes, but we have flour, beans, rice. What is that? It is not good. So then I understood that we had been so much given by the advertisement. Our women, their brain had been washed, and whatever they have, they didn't know that their value. So I started talking about this. And then now we know that $1 spent in nutrition will create $45 benefits. See how much we can do for our children, but if we will not think about our food, we have local food, that will be lost. And very sadly, a few weeks ago, when research was conducted, few months ago, research was conducted in Nepal, and then this research was published in Guardian in UK. Then when it was published in English, then our government started to think about, okay, now we will have to do something. And according to that research, it says that so many of our children, 25% of our children are stunned and malnourished because of junk food. Imagine food, we have so much nutritious food, but our children are eating junk food because we have forgotten our heritage. That's why. And what does that mean, junk food? It is ultra processed food, and the food that we have here, you can see, these are the foods that without them, as if we feel, oh, we cannot live without them. But we can live without them. Believe me, for 25 years, I have not had a single ultra-processed food. The food comes to my house only when me and my husband has fight, and in order to get me irritated, he brings ultra-processed food, puts them for a few days, and then we have to throw it out. So I have stopped fighting with my husband so that ultra-processed food would not come to my place. And the research says that the ultra-processed food, see, you can see that in noodles we have so much sodium, we have sugar. So what does mean sodium and sugar for our children? The small kidney will be destroyed from the very beginning of their life, and by the time they will be 18, they will be 20, they will suffer from kidney problems associated with diabetes. What does it mean? It means that in their life later on they will be unhealthy, and our country's future is in their hand. So are we going to give our country's future in those children's hand who will be unhealthy? No. That's why we have to talk about food heritage. And this is very sad face, one of the saddest face I have ever seen. I had worked in many countries of the world where war-ridden countries like Sudan and Afghanistan, and those faces looks like Sudan and Afghanistan. And why? Because these mothers, they had little bit of food, but nutritious food, but they didn't know that these foods were good for their children. So they gave ultra-processed food, expensive food, and very sadly, all of those children have died now. And that has really made me talk about more and more, so that our grandmothers, our mothers, our new generation would speak about our local food, our food that are healthy for our children and that are not much expensive. And later on, I found one just now, it has been published a few months ago. The government has published a research done by the government, and it shows that, see from that our children are anemic in 6 to 59 months. In 2011, there were 46% of children were anemic, and in 2016, 53%. Why? It should have been, the government is putting so much money on health, so much money on nutrition, then why it happens? It happens because we have forgotten our food heritage, because we put so much emphasis on medicine, but we don't think, we don't remember, we don't understand the value of our own food. That's why this problem is happening. And you can see the women who had the anemia among women of reproductive age was 35%, and now it is 46%. What does it mean? It means that the women who deliver children, the children already will suffer from anemia. And when they suffer from anemia, it means that their health is bad. What does it mean? It means that they will not be able to fight with many problems, many diseases. And what does it mean? It means that again they will be unhealthy from their childhood. Do we want our children to be like that? Of course not. And what happens when a child or a woman suffers from malnutrition? She suffers from anemia. It means that her heart will be problematic. She suffers from bone problems, so it means that during the delivery of a child, she will not be able to provide, she will not be so strong to give natural birth. It means that there will be a hormone problems, and it means that is depression. So food, lack of food, nutritious food doesn't mean only physical unfitness. It means mentally depression. And you understand, and many of you, and every one of us has gone sometime in a life depressive mood, I am sure. But what does it mean when a person suffers from depression? Either he or she eats a lot and then get obesity, or she stops eating and get again malnutrition, and then again the vicious cycle happens. So do we want our children to be part of like this? Do we want our women suffer for like this? Of course not. That's why we have to think about our food heritage, our local food. So, and also nutrition is a process. It is not that only put food on the table and then say, okay, let's eat, and then we will be healthy. No, it means it is a process. It should be well assimilated inside our body. We should be happy when eating, and everyone have got some problems. When we are angry, cannot eat. When we are sad, we cannot eat. When we are happy, sitting with our family members or with our friends, we eat so much, and we said, okay, I ate so much today because I was with friends. See, imagine our brain works for our stomach. That's why we have to have food that really helps us to be healthy and not depressive, so that we could be both healthy mentally and physically. And we have so much in our culture, food heritage. It means, and we have 123 indigenous groups. Every group has their own way of tackling their lives. Every indigenous groups have some celebration every month, something. A few weeks ago, we celebrated some festival, one festival where we eat sprouted food. What does it mean? It means live food. It means that live foods keeps us healthy. And we have so much in Ayurveda that food is a part of life. Food, you are what you eat. So what does it mean? It means that you eat junk food and you will be healthy? Of course not. It means that food that comes from our kitchen, that comes from our grandmother's kitchen, that comes from our farms, and that really keeps us healthy. And a few months ago, I was going to USA and I saw a book, a small, not book, from National Geography, Medicine, the best remedies of the world. It was a little bit expensive, $24. Most of the time I don't spend that much money, but I bought that thinking that it will be useful for me, because when I opened there, I saw a lot of things that we are using in our daily life. It says it has medicinal value. What a good combination. It is food, it is medicine, it is near us, but still we are not using it. And that really made me help to buy the books, and that I am using as a resource materials. And see our plate, rice, vegetable, potato, pulses, we have so much full of protein, but we don't use them. Then we use food from outside that said it has lot of protein. Does it really give us health? Of course not. We only pay money to buy unhealthy food. So much sources, we don't have to go anywhere. See, we have karkallo, we have iron, that is sweet potato. And when do we eat karkallo? To eat karkallo, we have a special day, Rishi Panchami. To eat sweet potato, we have a special day, Mag Ekgate. And these are full of irons, vitamins, fiber. What else do we need? We have amaranth, latte. It is so easily you can get anywhere. But when we say latte, people say, oh no, it is not good. But when we say amaranth, then people say, okay, it is very good. So the whole, the idea, if it comes in English language, people start talking, okay, it must be very good. But in local language, oh, he's going to eat that. So, and we have so much healthy food. And Nevari food, and in Kathmandu, Nevari food is one of the food, either eat food or snacks or something, so good. But the problem with our Nepali friends, they instead of eating their own local food, they start eating pizza, and forgotten that their food has so much values. So, what is takeaway message? Give children food, not medicine, and give children knowledge about food heritage that has come out from thousand years. And when I talk about food and snacks and these things, many people ask me, okay, but we don't know what type of snacks we eat. And then I say them, chura, beaten rice with little bit of potato fried, and that could be a very good food. We have sesame seeds, we have hemp, bhang as we say in Nepali, very good food. We have turmeric. Now turmeric is like turmeric latte. It becomes a very expensive turmeric latte milk. But when turmeric our grandmother used to give us, we say, oh no. But now turmeric has become, because it has curcumin, it has become a very fancy thing. So my point is, let us celebrate our food heritage. Let us be healthy, and let us be healthy not only physically, Let us be healthy mentally as well, and celebrate all the celebrations that are associated with food. And I'm sure that after my lecture, everybody will want me to come to their home and have a dinner and lunch. So take an appointment with me. Thank you.